Reach out the vision, yeah. Come on, walk this down easy street. Track these angels in dreams and their prayers. Remember the tree only by light. Remember the visions in their eyes. Remember the magic of our soul. So dash away the blues and feeling. Spirit said, take the world off your shoulders. Put in the grave, my friend. Foolish man today. Transgression topic cannot conquer it, no. Transgression topic cannot conquer it. And this is why it is your Iowa. Son of the time for wicked disciples. Get behind me, Satan. Get behind me, Satan. Chant the somebody. 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 Moses indeed. Chant, chant. Samson indeed. Chant, chant. Elijah indeed. Chant, chant. So I wanna hold on with me. Chant, chant. Solomon indeed. Chant, chant. Father King David. Chant, chant. John the Baptist. Chant, chant. So I wanna hold on with me. Chant, chant. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chanta Sama Day. We are here again, live in the rise. I got a hair treatment going on with some aloe. So I got aloe. It feels so good in my scalp. So that's what I got happening. Blessed greetings and blessed rise. How is everyone out there? Thanks for joining Chanta Sama Day. We are live in the rise quite early today, actually, because we are a little bit, we're really in the rise. Hi. Okay, we have some trolls coming in. So let's gather together here. Okay, here we go. I gotta stretch my legs out. Hi, D-Nuts. Are you okay? Thanks so much for joining Chanta Sam. We are live in the rise every day, live in the rise. I got my Harriet Tubman pin. Amanda Seals. Thank you, Miss Seals, for this pin and creating this, designing it, creating it, and sending it out to folks. It is important that we have people like Amanda Seals. So tune in, check out Amanda Seals TV on YouTube. Go to Amanda Seals Exports and buy your pin, your Harriet Tubman pin. What would the ancestors say? These are important questions, and we have answers within, and that's where I come in. So I come in with seeking what is within. Now, everybody I know who follow the traditional ritualistic traditions of this world are getting ready to give gifts. I posted some pictures of 5 years ago. I was in a relationship, and 5 years ago in that relationship, I was given, balloon, and I don't think I got flowers. I just got balloon and gifts. I think it was a bag and stuff like that, and a card and stuff. So that was 5 years ago, and 5 years ago I didn't celebrate that. I still don't. but I was given this, and it's, I appreciated it and everything like that. Um, However, when we consume and we take our, you know, funds that we've worked for and put it back into a system that doesn't like us, Michael Jackson says it, they don't like us. Um, Kendrick Lamar said it, they're not like us. So we become dependent on the system, and we become, puppets. I had someone on here yesterday, sock puppet, who came on and talked about some people smoke weed all day and that's a sin. So I wanted to preface the psalm today with something urgent that I think you need to listen to.
Healing, when did it change from the herbs to a carcinogenic chemical? And why? I was arrested. Why was I arrested? Because of the same thing that probably Jesus was hung for, defending what is called righteousness. You could be right, but you could also be dead right.
So, righteousness, and this is what, Dr. Sebi, may he rest in love, because Dr. Sebi is one of our ancestors, as Harriet Tubman is. So, greetings, Jasmine. Love to you too. Thank you for your kindness, and thank you for liking this video. Thank you for tuning in, subscribing to this channel, Jasmine, D-Nuts, Pianosaurus. Subscribe, all of you out here listening, because this is an important part of your relationship that you're building with righteousness. And in that relationship building, you are creating for yourself a future. That's why today's theme is hope is salvation. Hope is salvation. And salvation is the future. What do you want your future to look like? What do you want your future to look like? Some people, going after, trying to find the right mate, or, trying to find the right job, or trying to find the right house, or trying to find the right, whatever it is you're trying to find out there. What are you trying to find out there? So in that searching and looking, we miss ourselves. That's who we are ultimately searching for, is who we are. What are the things that we like? What are the things that we don't like? What are some things that we want to enjoy doing, that we enjoy doing? And is it helping someone else? Are we existing just for ourselves, or are we to help each other? So Dr. Sebi mentions this because it's urgent that we look at, what is it that we are serving? And this entire time with the Psalm has been from Monday to today, as we end the strong on Friday. Thank you for joining Chanta Psalm, and thank you for tuning in and liking this video. And as we are finishing up the work strong, people are working. We've had so many things that are going on. And in these things that are going on, we sometimes miss things. We miss, things, because there's so many distractions, so many this, so many that. And we sometimes miss, we miss these little things. So Dr. Sebi, I'm going to play it again.
If the herbs are for healing, when did it change from the herbs to a carcinogenic chemical? And why? I was arrested. Why was I arrested? Because of the same thing that probably Jesus was hung for, defending what is called righteousness. You could be right, but but you could also be dead right. What you're seeing is every part of life.
So when Jeremiah, thank you so much for sharing your testimony here on Chantasam Day. As we are live in the rise, Jeremiah, Anders, we lift your testimony up as evidence, evidence of the majesticness and power of the most righteousness of righteousness that Dr. Sabi mentions here. And, being, in a car accident, as you've mentioned, and surviving, and that almost took your life. Sometimes these things happen, and you're used in that happening of evidence that there is an existence higher than ourselves, and we ourselves may fall short. We may fall short, but we're picked up and given a second chance. We're given a second chance, and I feel the same way. I was in a point in my life where I almost lost everything, lost myself for someone else, and in that I became saved, and that that happened as a result of being a young mother and being a wife to someone 23 years older than me that was oppressive. And in that oppression, I found liberation to escape and to become the person I am today, college educated, and that is a testimony. So thank you for sharing your testimony, and being a vessel for that, and sharing your story. Your story must be shared. It must be given to the people. So escaping is part of escaping any situation that's not lifting you up. You are exemplifying the power of the Creator when you have escaped an oppressive or situation, or you've escaped being destroyed. Because remember, I said this yesterday, sin is a destroyer. That's what if you want to define what sin is and want to know what is sinful and what is not, whatever is destroying your body, your mind, your life is sin. And I want to keep going with the important message about hope is salvation.
Life is being man-made, and the reason why is because you can't patent nature. You can patent anything you make man-made. When you make it patent, now I can make money.
So there's a quote: the planet can produce enough for human need, but not human greed. And that's a quote from Mahatma Gandhi.
Type 2 diabetes, hypertension, lipid problems, cardiovascular disease, cancer, dementia.
The list of medical problems tied directly to the food we're being marketed.
So all of the ailments that you have in society is directly a result of the food that's being taken in. So when that person yesterday mentioned, and I think it was Sock Puppet, that name just is I'm remembering that handle from yesterday because they mentioned the word sin, and smoking weed, they said, is a sin. And in terms of defining what sin is, I had to return to the definition of sin because oftentimes people use their own egos to perpetuate what's right and what's wrong because it's not for them, so it's wrong for everybody else. So what's right for you may not be right for someone else. The point of the matter is, when we talk about sin, we're talking about a destroyer, we speak of righteousness as coming into the earth to give life and give it in abundance. And sin has come into the world to destroy and to destroy the body with foods that are poisonous, to destroy our minds with content that is excluding certain people and lifting others up. So sin is that destroyer of life. And when people judge other people for the things that they take into their bodies, and it's natural, in a natural state, it's important to remember who is the source of what's being said, right? Because who feels it knows it, right? Jeremiah Anders mentioned, and he feels that being in a car accident and surviving, you know what that feels like, right? And who feels it knows it. So when people are expressing the fact that they've changed the way they eat, they've changed the way they, look at food, and not being a fool, it becomes they're the bad person because they're standing up for what's righteous. Dr. Sebi was powerful in that he stood up for that and was exterminated and hunted down. So when we see that shift from healing herbs to harmful chemicals, they're creating meat in a lab. Oh my goodness. Do tell us. Speak. Oh my goodness, comment. This is important because oftentimes we are not aware of the existence of this creator until we are in a position where we have no choice but to know it. It's like, boom, that's it. Like, pop off. That's my new word now, pop off.
Are actually making ourselves sicker by eating the processed food that the food industry has told us is good for us.
How has Cargill managed to stay on top of the agricultural food chain for over a century? Imagine a company that's been around so long, it could have supplied snacks for the signing of the Treaty of Versailles. Yes, we're talking about Cargill, the undisputed titan of the agri-food world. So what's their secret sauce? Or should we say, their secret grain? If you've ever found yourself wondering, why all the fuss about Cargill? That's because Cargill isn't just a big deal. It's a behemoth, the Goliath of private companies in America. Its revenue isn't just large. It dwarfs the combined might of the third, fourth, and fifth largest companies. Yes, let that sink in. But wait, not only has Cargill passed the test of time, it's aced the taste test of our tummies too. How, you ask? By leading the charge in the agriculture and food sector with a vast network of subsidiaries and franchises that span the globe. Isn't that something to chew on? Trust me, the Cargill logo might not be on the food product, but be assured that it touches everything you eat at least once before it hits the stores. It's like a fairy godmother with its magic wand, but this particular one makes money off you. It controls what and how you eat every day, which means that you only get the quality and quantity of food that it makes available.
I had asthma, I had diabetes, I was impotent, I wore glasses, and I weighed 291 pounds at age 30. The man looked at me and said that I was dying and that I had to change my way. Then he asked,
Change my way. So I had to stop at this with Dr. Sebi say, change my way. The doctor told me I had to change my way. So Jeremiah is telling us that he survived days with no blood in his body, and that he will show that if he doesn't change his ways, he will go to eternal hell. And that eternal hell is a place where it's here on earth. You're gonna feel it before anything else. And it's a place away from the earth that you're gonna feel too. You may not know it like that because you're in your body. So that's what eternal hell is. It starts here on earth. You're gonna feel it, and it's gonna be felt in your body, the way the things that you eat and things that you intake. So we have testimony today of that. Dr. Sebi, we have someone on my live now talking about that. So thank you for liking this video. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for actually, being part of this community of change. That's what this is. This is not about bashing folks and who I've been with or what they did to me and all this stuff. It's about change, making change. And making change begins with me. That's why I have to talk about me and what happened to me, what occurred with me, what happened in my life that has gotten me here. Jeremiah, thank you for sharing your truth and your story as you see that to be, and you share that. That's what I do on this channel, Chanta Samade, is share my story, my truth, what I have been through, what I have survived, the things that I have gone through with people, with society, with anything, with whatever. Whether, it's anything, I do not wish anyone to go through sufferation to get to salvation. Why do you have to go through sufferation to get to salvation? Good yester morrow, sister of the brethren. Lel Stephen, thank you so much for joining Chanta Samade. I'm early today. We're at the top of the hour almost here, 3 minutes to the top of the hour. And so sufferation, we do not have to endure to get to salvation. We can get to a good future, a good outcome when we take heed of our ways. Okay? And having faith, yes, you can survive. Faith without works is nothing. So having faith is okay. And it's written that you have faith as a mustard seed is going to grow into something humongous. So Dr. Sebi told us
1 pounds at age 30. The man looked at me and said that I was dying and that I had to change my way. Then he asked me, do you believe in God? I said, of course I do. He said, well, we have to take it up a notch. You have to deliver yourself. When you deliver yourself to God, you can only do those things and those things that God made.
So when you deliver yourself to God, when people talk about Jesus, and Amanda Seals mentioned this in her working and chatting, Amanda Seals TV, working and chatting. So she mentioned that in terms of people say, oh, she's not married, she doesn't have children, And these are the same people who believe in Jesus, but Jesus wasn't married, he didn't have any children. But they follow that. People follow these things, but they're not of it. So when people talk about in Jesus' name, but yet they are, doing something the opposite of that and eating foods that are not what Jesus would eat, doing things that what Jesus would not do, speaking in the way Jesus would not speak, it makes me wonder, are people mentally okay because they're calling in Jesus' name, but then they're not living in that way, you know? And Dr. Sabi mentions that in his dialogue here.
When you deliver yourself to God, you can only do those things and those things that God made. He said, young man, please, you have all these diseases. You need to stop eating. He took me away from meat. He took me away from all of the things that we think are good. They're not. How could I be sick?
So when he stopped eating the meat, that is the number one things. That's the number one things that is destroying, and that is what is making people, ill, is the meat, the dead. I call it debtors. These debtors, and it sounds like debt, right? DEBT, DEAD, debtors, debt. All of this sounds just, oh my goodness, the lowest energy ever. L. Stephen, we have all fallen short of the glory. We have all fallen short in terms of sin. And I'm defining sin now as destroying a destroyer. That's what sin is. It destroys. And the food that people are eating is sinful to the point of it's destroying their bodies. Their minds are not sharp. Their actions are not, quick, and movements are slow. Bob Marley said it, all these drugs are going to make you slow. And that's what the food has in the drugs. They're drugging people up with these things. So
from all of the things that we think are good, they're not. How could I be sick at 30 with all these maladies and made this change? The Mexican helped me. I found out that everything that we put in our mouth is laboratory made. And what is
So everything that we put in our mouth is laboratory made. My son came to me yesterday. He said he want to eat the food out the earth that he grows in his in his yard. He needs to get that. So we have to change. We have to change. And it's not trying to get people to buy into, vegetarianism or veganism. It's not trying to get you to buy into that label. There's labels for all these things. And then when you are limiting yourself with these labels, so, people, you're calling yourself a vegetarian, but you just ate, piece of cheese. Like, okay, so yeah. We're at the top of the hour here.
what does that mean? It means this. God made us. We were not made by a laboratory.
So we were not made by a laboratory. So in other words, the theme of hope is salvation is that in the Most High, right? We have been created in that image, that DNA, that image of the Most High, that righteousness we are that. So when we were created in that, and we are the product of that, we're supposed to take in things that are going to lift that product up, not destroy it. There's sin in the world, folks, and we've been used as guinea pigs in the sin.
If we were the product of a laboratory, then it means that we could eat laboratory food. As an engineer, I saw something. But all machines, they use the human body as the prototype. And what
So so we've been, guinea pigs in this. And, when we look at the Psalm today, let there be light. when we look at the Psalm today, the Psalm today is 42, and it's right on time for what's going on, because why are you cast down, O my life? Meaning, why is it that I am saddened? Why is it that my life is engulfed in this processed way of living and this laboratory of, experimental inequities, So when we talk about anything going on to the body and the mind and your life, you have to back away from these things, because these things are imparting toxicity, because it's a chemical. We're putting chemicals in our bodies. We're putting drugs in our bodies. We're putting aspirin. We're putting, vaccines. What are the ingredients in these vaccines? What is it that you're putting into your body? And you're taking a flu shot. You're taking a shot. You're taking you're getting a this. You're getting a this, and they're creating new humans. These humans have things that is not natural in their bodies, and it's hurting, actually, correct, more than helping, because it's causing us to become ill and become having maladies, as Dr. Sabi mentioned. So the Psalm today, 42, why are you cast down, on my life? It's the beginning of the book 2. Okay, it's the beginning of book 2 of the Psalm, and Psalm 42, it's just 11 verses, but it looks at comparing the wanting of and thirsting thereof as a deer pants, as a deer looking for flowing streams. The life of the children of righteousness are panting for those streams, those living streams of the living, not dead, not debtors and debt. The Lord's Prayer says, forgive the debtors as we forgive those who have debts, because that service to that life, to your life, is a service to the one that can save you, as Jeremiah Anders mentioned here of him, of being saved from a car accident, or some people are being saved from toxic relationships. Some people are being saved from toxic foods. Some people are being saved from, toxic lives. So, and Psalm 42, I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable to what is righteous, what is good, and what is kind, because what is acceptable to you may not be acceptable to me. What's acceptable to me may not be acceptable to you. You may like to play violent video games and use words like kill, 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 shoot him, shoot him, shoot him, get him, get him, get him. You may like, that may be something you like. That's something I don't like, because I serve not you, I serve love, kindness, righteousness that abhors the violence. So anything with violence, I do not partake in. I am not in. So those who want that will end up that way, in violence, in turmoil, in hell. I don't want that. So because of that, I am going to include my pastimes, things that I do. And the things that I do is I love to read. I have my reading light. And I love to empower my mind my physical being. I like to empower my physical body with foods that are going to lift me up. Yesterday I had a fish sandwich. I'm not gonna lie. I had a fish sandwich. I didn't want to go buy one, but I succumbed to it and ate and got it, a fish sandwich, right? I cheated on that. And that's why I mentioned I fall short of the glory. I have sinned. Okay. And in that I realized that this psalm is right on time, because that's what I thirst for my own land. I can make my own food. And I could, not eat the processed foods. I know, Jeremiah, fish is not bad for the body. It's not, but I did have one with fries and, fry stuff and, not good. From a fast food place I will not mention. So in Psalm 42, as a deer pants for flowing streams, so pants my life for righteousness, for that goodness, for my mind, for my body, for my soul. And my life thirsts for that righteousness, and for that living righteousness, that living God, however you call God. When I shall come and appear before God, when shall that be? And then verse 3 is about your tears. My tears have been my food day and night, while folks speak about me all day long. That where is her God? How is she serving God? She's a hypocrite. She's this, she's that. And verse 4, these things I remember as I pour out my life, as I talk about what's happened to me in relationships, as I talk about my life. I talk about where I am in my life and where I'm going and where I want to be and how I want to live. I'm going to remember as I pour out my life how I would go with the throng and lead ones in procession to the house of righteousness, and with glad shouts and songs of adulation, a multitude keeping festival, So I remember that. And verse 5 is the question again here. Why are you cast down, on my life, and why are you in turmoil within? Have hope in righteousness, hope and have faith in the goodness of God, for you're going to give that adulation again. That's the salvation, is your future, and that is what God is. It's righteous future. People smoking cigarettes has been something. I was with someone 5 years ago. They were smoking cigarettes and now they've stopped. So and I'm glad that I helped in that process for them to stop, because I never ceased in giving thanks and asking for them to have cigarettes removed out of their life, that they would not want to smell it, that it would make them sick when they smell it, that I asked specifically of the goodness of righteousness for that to happen. And when that was received, I was fortunate to know that they have saved their life in some way. L. Stephen, over 200 days, and that's when it was hard, and still fight. We want to smoke now. Still fight the want to smoke. Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations, L. Stephen, on that journey, because I know that journey may have been hard, but guess what? That's the demon, the enemy wants you to, because let me tell you, there's been a war and the enemy lost. So the enemy is has animosity, and the enemy is, feeling away and wants revenge, in other words. So the enemy attacks in a way, and you got to be strong because the enemy can come attacking, and you are your worst enemy. In other words, you become that. So when we find ourselves fighting a battle, we got to remember, hotter the battle, sweeter the victory. So you may be going through something, challenging. That's a challenging battle. I'm going through some legal battles with people who, have done me wrong, like seriously taking my credit and writing off of it. Just nefarious stuff that has happened in my life. Being kind to folks, and then they do these things. Anyway, so when I face these things, I hold on to righteousness because I have the knowledge of hope is salvation, that that's gonna be a good outcome in my favor because I'm staying in the goodness. I'm not putting my hand into wrongness and trying to do something vengeful like the enemy does. And sometimes I do that. I beat myself up like, why did you do that? That was stupid. You were stupid. And we beat ourselves up, but we got to let that go. We got to let that go. And we got to realize, look, we make mistakes and we're human. We can make mistakes. We can have a lapse in judgment sometimes. And sometimes we can get caught up in a relationship that may be toxic that we're trying to save. And in that trying to save, we end up burning ourselves down in the process. But guess who's always on our side? That righteousness, that goodness that is the Most High. That Almighty is always on our side. We don't have to put nobody down to lift ourselves up because we are already lifted in the grace of goodness and mercy. So, your life is cast down within you. You may feel sad, you may feel hurt, right? Sometimes that can happen. Okay. So your message, Jeremiah, you were in a relationship, etc. I didn't get to read it, but you took it back. You don't want to share it again, but that's fine because sometimes relationships are not right for you, and you don't see that until towards the end of the relationship, and you want to keep holding on to something that is not right for you or for the other person. I had to do that maybe about 10 years ago. I had to tell someone, I'm saving both of us, by leaving this alone. I'm saving both of us. Both you and I are being saved when I make the decision to leave. So in Psalm 42, when you're feeling challenged, remember the ancient times in the land of Jordan and Hermon and Mount Mizar. Remember the times. Remember these times, the deep calls to deep. Oh, you was in a relationship for 4 years and it was toxic, so you let her go. Okay. Yeah, and when you let someone go, communication is important. Someone let me go and they didn't tell me. I had to find out I found out on Facebook I was deleted. I was like, what's happening? Yeah, so I didn't find out. They didn't tell me anything. And they used excuses like it was over already, you will never hit, all these things, but you never said you never said anything, and then went and maybe they already had someone else. Who knows? People do stuff. You never know. But when when you break a relationship off, you have to break it off with communication. You just don't go boo up with someone else and you're still in a relationship. You know what I mean? Oh, she went back to her ex, baby daddy. Okay. Yeah. So you have to communicate that the relationship is over and both of you have communicated that and you're good and you can go your separate way. And the next person that you're with is not the other. You can't start a new relationship when you haven't finished the previous one. Okay. So that is when you feeling these challenges, when deep is calling to deep and the roar of your waterfalls, all your breakers and your waves have gone over me. All these things are happening to you through the day. You've been righteousness commands a steadfast love. And at night, the song of righteousness is with you. And a communication to righteousness of your life is there. You're in that presence, okay? Staying in the presence of righteousness. And you're speaking to that righteousness and acknowledging that righteousness is a rock, right? And oftentimes we ask the question when we're in a big challenge and we're in a situation or toxic relationship or whatever it is, why have you forgotten me? This is how I was December 2023. I was in Denton with the person that didn't communicate to me that it was over. And I felt that because I was like crying out to God, like, why have you forgotten me? Why am I in this situation? Why, I need, what's going on? Like, what's happening? So, and why do I go mourning? Because of the oppression of the enemy, as with a deadly wound in my bones, my adversaries taunt me because I was told I'm full of shit, what am I, because this or that, and just being mean to me, while they say to me all day long, where is your God? So in verse 11, as we end the psalm, why are you cast down, O my life, and why are you in turmoil within me? So my salvation and my God, that is righteousness, that is goodness and mercy and love. That is what salvation is. It's the future. Oh my goodness, L. Stephen. So that is Psalm 42. Psalm 42. Oh my goodness, this hand is itching. Whenever this hand itching right there, that you know what that means. Anyway, yeah, I took that part out. I have aloe vera. It's in my scalp, and I have my miracle oil. This oil is perfect. It's, oh my goodness, the best. This is for external use only. And that is Psalm 42. I love it. I wonder what the word of the day is today. I think I saw it, but I'm not sure. Please donate to my Black Mermaid. I'm trying to bring the Black Mermaid to life. You can help donate. Look at the description and you can donate to my GoFundMe. The daily word today, oh my gosh, it's loving. It's Valentine's Day. People celebrate Valentine's Day. I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Came down the driveway 3 days after Christmas. Wow. What in the world do people be thinking about, right? So the word today is loving. And in this word today, loving, is an ing, meaning it's a present tense, it's happening now. It is brought to us today by John 15:9. John chapter 15, verse 9. Abide in my love. Abide in my love. Did it say abide in Valentine's Day? Did it say to celebrate that? No, it did not. Yeah, planes are coming out. Planes are coming out the sky, left and right. I don't know what's happening, but planes are coming out the sky. And that's why we have to abide in the love of righteousness, because of the wrongness that is upon us. Yeah, wrongness that's around. So we're abiding in love, okay? And that's what the theme of today is. Salvation, hope is salvation. And how is that achieved? By abiding in love. By abiding in love. I type a lot, so I have to put this oil on. It helps my, I have a sprained finger right there. So the word today, I got to play my word of the day. It's the word of the day. It's the word of the day. Word of the day. It's the 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 word of the day. Word of the day. Word of the day. It's the word of the day, y'all. Let's get it going. You got to buckle up for this one. This is a word today for all of you Valentine worshipers. All of you that worship the Valentine. You don't know that you're worshiping demons unbeknownst to you when you take part in these rituals. So, and these idol worship. And these expressions of love in a materialistic capacity. So the word today, loving, I'm an expression of love. Today I celebrate love. I give thanks for my loved ones and for the relationships that fill my heart with joy. I might be moved to express love and appreciation through greeting cards, a chat on the phone, or by spending time with a partner or special friend. I am surrounded by and enfolded in divine love. Centered in this awareness, I love unconditionally. I am calm and tranquil. Love guides my every thought, word, and action. I am caring and kind, thoughtful and understanding. Love fills my heart and I feel buoyant and free. I expand my expression of love to encircle all people everywhere. Viewing others through the eyes of love, I feel a kinship with all beings. I graciously give with an open heart and gratefully accept the love that returns to bless me. My life and my heart are full. So this word today, loving, is brought to us by John 15, verse 9, abide in love. I love that. That's the word of the day, y'all. It's the word. That was the word of the day. Beautiful word of the day. It's the word of the day. Awesome word of the day. It's the word of the day. It's the word of the day. Word of the day. Word of the day. I have aloe in my hand. That's the word of the day. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. Let's look at what the verse of the day. The word of the day is brought to us by John chapter 15. And And the verse of the day is brought to us today by John as well. Chapter 13. Chapter 13. So let's look at the verse of the day. Let's look at the verse of the day.
Verse of the day.
John 13.
Verse.
Greetings
Verse
of love
of the
and
day.
joy with great gratitude for the Most High
Verse.
daily, El Sue.
Verse
The
of
verse
the
of the
day.
day.
Verse. Verse of
Connie.
the day.
Happy Friday. We're on the verse of the day. We're 55 minutes into the psalm today. I got up early to get going so I could get stuff happening. Today is Friday. Oh my goodness, so many things are happening. Happy Friday. Good morning. Greetings of love. Blessed rise. This is the verse of the day coming from John 13, verse 34 to 35. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples. Oh, everyone gonna know. Everyone gonna know that you are righteousnesses. Hey, Edna. All the way from Kenya? Oh my goodness. You're right next to Ethiopia. Wow, Jeremiah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining Chantasama Day. Look at that. I have my regulars coming in and we have new folks. If you're new, subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. It won't do anything to hurt you to subscribe. Like the video. It won't do anything to like the video. Just hit that like. I think it's like this. Hit the like picture, and thanks for tuning in. At least for 20 minutes you can tune in. But that was our verse of the day. As righteousness loves you, so we must love each other, because we've been loved. That's why I say when people do you wrong, they don't know God's love. You have to show them what God's love is because they don't know it. And when they don't know it, they're easily likely and more likely to hurt themselves and others. So we have to love, and we have to know that as we have that love, so we must share that with one another. So I'm sharing it with you because I have it from that one, so that everyone is going to know that you are disciples of righteousness, that you are perpetuators of the good. You are ambassadors of, compassion. You represent grace, kindness, and mercy. That's why people don't want to communicate with people, because they know they already did them wrong. Guiltiness rests on their conscience. Okay? Bob Marley said that. Guiltiness rests on their conscience. Yeah. See, Jeremiah helps people who doesn't appreciate it, but knows that God will give back, because you give with the goodness of your heart. You're not giving for something in return from someone. You're not giving someone this to have sex. You're not giving someone this to get them to buy you something. You're giving out of the goodness of your heart. And when you do that and it's not reciprocated, reciprocity, when it's not reciprocated, guess what? And I won't say. You get what you give. Okay, you're going to get what you give. Ain't nobody do nothing to you. You're going to get what you give. So that was our verse of the day. Know that you are loved and that you must share that. That was our verse of the day.
Verse of the day.
We're at an hour.
Verse of the day. Verse of the day. Verse of the day.
Hey, verse of the day. Oh my goodness. let's see. The next, this is another one. I love this one. This is life lessons from the ocean. Life lessons from the ocean. Listen to this one. Life lessons from the ocean.
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 Life lessons from the ocean. Looks can be deceiving. Looks can be deceiving. Looks can be deceiving. Where is my reading light? Looks can be deceiving. The branded sea crate is a sea snake with one of the most potent venoms of all snakes. The banded sea crate rarely bites humans, as its usual diet is fish, and it has a very small mouth, unsuited to biting large prey. This sea snake is certainly best avoided, something the harmless harlequin snake eel has evolved to take advantage of. Living in the same places as this sea snake crate, it can swim largely without fear of attack by predators that would probably find it rather tasty. Mimicry is common in the underwater world. Sometimes it is hard to tell who is who. So, take my reading light off here. Be careful of appearances. Be careful, because looks can be deceiving, and that's how the enemy gets to you, by your looks. Looks are deceiving. Okay, someone may look, strong, and they look, some women have this masculine look, but then they are not that. They're the weakest of the weak. So it doesn't, it's you can't go by looks alone. I'm talking about, you cannot go by looks alone, because looks can be deceiving, according to our life lessons from the ocean.
Life lessons from the ocean. Life lessons. Life lessons.
Life lessons from the ocean. That was life lessons from the ocean. Now, communication. This is important. If you have a woman in your life, instead of for Valentine's Day giving a female or a male flowers, or flowers are good, but every day you should give somebody flowers. But anyway, in this time, the best gift is words, a word. Okay, the best gift is a word. Thank you for the emojis. Let's give some high five emojis in the chat. Let's give some hearts. Let's see who's got. El Sue's got a pink heart. Let's give El Sue a pink heart in the chat. Come now. Let's give some emojis in the chat, everybody. Okay, put some emojis as we're getting ready to end the session today. So we have our daily communication. Daily communication. Yeah, daily. Day 44. Thank you, Jeremiah, for the emoji.
Daily communication. communication to righteousness.
For who?
For women.
For
For
who?
women.
What?
Daily communication to righteousness.
For who?
For women.
For who?
For women.
Okay. Thank you for the emojis. Thank you for the emojis. Oh my goodness. Put some fire emojis because this is fire, what I'm about to read here. Let me get my reading light. So for day 44, we're on day 44. For those of you who are on the Gregorian calendar, we're doing a 365-day daily communication to righteousness for women. So we're communicating to God, in other words, right? Daily communication to righteousness for women. And instead of using the word prayer, we're going to use the word communication. We're, talking to God for women. Because women go through a lot. Women have to bear the burden. So Psalm 121 is for today's daily communication to righteousness for women. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does thy strength come? Thy strength comes from the Lord. Thy strength comes from the Lord. Thy strength comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. Who made heaven and earth. Psalm 121. I love Psalm 120. That's my go-to psalm. Here is the communication. Thank you for the fire emojis, Jeremiah. I love Jeremiah chapter 10, by the way. I'm going to have to tattoo Jeremiah chapter 10 on my back. Right here. Jeremiah chapter 10. Lord, whenever I find myself lost, melancholic, or otherwise in a rueful state of mind, I need to remember to pause. Pause. Be still. For no matter where I am and what beauty I can see, hear, and smell around me, whether towering mountains and thundering waterfalls, or a bird chirping on a telephone wire, or a tiny flower growing through a sidewalk crack. There is so much awe in what righteousness has made, and that brings my heart tranquility. Strengthen I and I, all of you out there. I'm asking for strength for everyone that's watching right now, to take time to appreciate love, not appreciate hate, but appreciate love the creations of your hands through filling your senses with beauty from your hands. That is its own form of healing. Okay? That is its own form of healing. Selah and Selah again. Amen, amen. That was daily communication.
Daily communication. Daily communication. Daily communication.
For who?
To righteousness.
To who? To righteousness. For who?
For women.
Okay.
For women.
Thank you.
Daily communication to righteousness for women.
Thanks for joining Chanta Sama Day, everyone. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining Chanta Sama Day. I want to shout out real quick to the subway train passengers in New York City who delivered a baby on the train, helped deliver a baby on the train. Shout out to the New York City passengers on that W train in New York. Also, I want to shout out to Another righteousness was a kayaker was kayaking and was swallowed by a humpback whale, and the humpback whale pushed him back out. Like he swallowed him up and he put him back. So shout out to the kayaker for humbling themselves and finding within themselves the strength to call on doing the right thing, and not being swallowed up by the humpback whale. So 2 acts of righteousness that I'm going to be sharing, that I find in the news. Those are 2 that I found in the news, that righteousness is existing in our world. Thank you so much for joining Chanta Sama Day. It's been real. It's been amazing. Steel Pulse, through democracy, I can't take copyright credit. This is Steel Pulse. Thank you so much for joining Chanta Sama Day. Remember, everybody stand in love. Join the SEAL Squad. Amanda Seals. Join the SEAL Squad. Look at her podcast, Small Doses. Here is my Harriet Tubman pin. What did the ancestors say? What would they say? Have a blessed day, everyone. Stand in love, don't fall in it. Stand in love, don't fall. Remember that. Some of you are falling. You're falling hard. Stand. Don't fall. Stand. Don't fall. Enjoy every day. Enjoy every day of life. Thank you, Elsu. Call you soon. Take good care. Happy Friday. Happy Friday.